Hi, the purpose of this video is to help you know what to look for in a lease when you're thinking about renting an apartment or a home. We've already talked about the importance of having a lease in writing and about the fact that a written lease is an agreement or a contract between you and a landlord. If you break a lease, a landlord can still hold you legally responsible for keeping up your end of the bargain. That could cost you a bunch of money, so it makes sense to know what you're getting into before you get into it. First, check on the length or the term of your lease. Is it a year? Is it 6 months? Is it 1 month? The reason you should check is because some leases automatically renew at the end of the first term. If that's true for your lease, check and see whether you have to notify your landlord in writing if you want to terminate the lease at the end of the term. Again, the term is the length of time you're staying in your apartment or house under the lease. Also, look for the amount of rent you're supposed to pay and when it is due. Usually a lease will state when a rent payment is considered late. You may have to pay extra charges if you do not pay your rent on time. Make sure the lease states who is paying for the utilities, you or the landlord. If you're going to pay for utilities, ask the landlord for a printout of the charges for the last year or call the utility company and ask for the printout. Unless you're on a monthly payment plan, the cost for heating, air conditioning, water, and electricity can change by lot each month. You don't want to be caught by surprise with a big bill all of a sudden. Check to see what the lease says you cannot do, like have a wild party or make a lot of noise. Check to see if you or the landlord is responsible for making repairs or taking care of a lawn. If there isn't anything in the lease about this, the law makes the landlord responsible for repairs. Make sure that all the people who will be living with you are on the lease. Check to see whether your lease allows for pets. If it does, you may have to pay a special deposit to have pets in your apartment. Check to see whether the lease says anything about leaving your apartment for several days. The law requires a tenant to notify a landlord if the tenant is going to be out of town for more than 7 days. If a landlord thinks a tenant has abandoned an apartment, the landlord can go into the apartment, pack up all of the tenant's things, and put all the property in storage. Finally, don't sign a lease that has blank spaces on the lease. If your landlord hands you a lease with blank spaces, cross out the blank spaces before you sign the lease. This video has been brought to you by Legal Aid of Nebraska's Access to Justice program. Thanks for watching.